What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Mark Roden, and today I'm going to give you 10 plus one honorable mention, so 11 cars that you can buy for less than 20k. Obviously these are sports cars, so if you're looking at actual like good, reliable, daily driver, boring man Toyota Priuses and Camrys, then this is not the channel for you. But today's actually part 12 of a multi-part series that we got going on, where I give you 10 cars from 1k all the way up to 100k, and there's no duplicates. So if you haven't watched the other ones and you have like, you only have a budget of like 5k or something, then go watch that. I made a video on that. But today is part 12, so it's 20k. Next time it's going to be 25k, obviously. And yeah, if you want to support the channel any more than you already are, head on over to www.smoothstance.com to pick yourself up any merch. And with that out of the way, let's get right into the video. Okay, so coming in at number 10 is the amazing Mitsubishi EVO X. Anytime a car has the letter X in its name, it's cool. And this car is super cool, don't get me wrong, but I think for the price, it makes no sense to buy it over WRX. That does not mean that I like the WRX better, by the way. I actually like the EVO better, but I just think for the price, it's a little bit smarter to buy WRX. Anyways, it comes with a 2-liter turbocharged inline-4, making a nice 291 horsepower, and it was all-wheel drive. And yes, that is actually better than the WRX at the time, but the price is also a lot more money. But these cars are just freaking tuning gods, people. Like, the engines can handle just so much power. So if you really just want a car to tune up and have a little bit of a street racer that's a bit more modern, and you have the money to spare, then I'd get this car. Next up is going to be the Subaru WRX Raptor Eye. Yes, that's right. I had to put it only one spot higher because it only really deserves one spot higher. They are very similar cars. I just think this one's a tad bit better. Like I said, this will be a little bit cheaper than the EVO and is a bit newer as well. It comes with a 2.5-liter turbocharged flat 4 that makes 268 horsepower, and it was all-wheel drive, of course. And literally, just like the EVO, it makes for an absolutely insane tuner car. Now, the problem with this one is a little bit reliability wise, if you know what I'm saying. These head gaskets tend to have issues, if you know what I'm saying. Now this one also, I would say, is a tad bit worse to like tune than an EVO, but not by too much. Also, literally everybody uses one of these as their daily drivers, so if you need a fun daily, it's a good one for that too. The EVO and this are very similar, to be honest. I just think that this one is the better bang for your buck. Number 8 though is going to be the classic 1970 Chevrolet Nova. Yes, that's right, you can find an absolute legendary muscle car from the freaking 70s for less than $20,000 still. That isn't like an incredibly ugly 3rd gen Camaro or SL55 Mustang, and it blows me away too. They come with tons of different engine options for whichever one and whichever year you decide to go with, but they all make around 200 to 300 horsepower, and they're all pretty much a V8, so it's a pretty good start, man. And they were all rear-wheel drive, and obviously this isn't like a great choice to like daily drive, but if you want a fun project car that is literally just absolutely timeless in design, then go with this choice. They also obviously make for some incredible drag racers. They're drag raced all the time, and for good reason. They're good at it. Number 7 is the Maserati Ghibli S, which is a car that actually got tons of hate recently due to some guy on TikTok and who owned one. It was just an absolute idiot, and so now people just don't talk about them whatsoever, when it definitely deserves to be talked about a little bit. They're pretty cool cars. Like, yeah, I understand one guy, you know, you can kind of give them a bad rep, but that doesn't mean that they're not a cool car. Maserati as a brand is pretty underrated. This car though comes with a 3-liter V6, making a nice 345 horsepower, and it was rear-wheel drive, believe it or not, and they are just bougie as all hell. If you want just an incredible ride quality while still being able to go fast if you want to, pick one of these cars up. I will be the first one to say that these are not like an enthusiast car. You're not gonna like have a race car on your hands or a drift car or anything like that, but it's just a good combo of everything, really. Number 6 is going to be the Honda Accord 10th generation, which is a bit different than the rest of this list, obviously. It's not technically a sports car, but these Accords are just super cool, man. I don't know why people sleep on them so much. Accord, the whole Accord line in general is such a good choice if you're just trying to find like a good car that you can have fun with if you want for cheap. This one comes with a 2-liter turbocharged inline-4, making 252 horsepower, and it was front-wheel drive. And that horsepower is not small, okay? Like we just talked about the WRX, which only has 10 more horsepower, but a bit heavier. So do not sleep on this monster. Like, the WRX we all know is a pretty decently quick car. So if that's quick, then this is also pretty quick. On top of being quick, it mainly is used as a daily because it's incredibly reliable, it's cheap to maintain, and easy to fix. So if you want just a car that's just a great start into the car world, this is a good option. Number 5, though, yes, we are halfway done already. It is going to the great Mercedes SL55 AMG, which is honestly a bit of a monster, but people just sleep on this old Mercedes all the time, so nobody knows the potential that it actually has, and it makes me sad, makes me a little bit angry, not gonna lie. It comes with an insane 5.5 liter supercharged V8, making a massive 493 horsepower, and it was rear wheel drive, and in my opinion looked pretty damn good too. And yes, you can get a 500 horsepower supercharged V8 for under 20k. I know it doesn't sound true, but that's the power of these old Mercedes, man. Nobody wants them, okay? So they lose value incredibly quickly. I don't recommend picking this car up as an investment because, like I just said, Mercedes are horrible at holding their value. But if you want a very, very cheap 500 horsepower race car, pick this up. Number 4, and we are traveling to the wonderful land of America. I'm already here, so I'll be waiting for you guys. And it is the Ford Mustang GT S550, which is the newest generation of Mustang that you see driving around literally absolutely everywhere. And that's because it's a pretty decent car, okay? I'm not a big fan of Mustang, but it's a decent car. It comes with a 5 liter V8, 5.0, yeah, 5.0. If you buy a Mustang GT, you better have 5.0 in the name. That makes a nice 460 horsepower, and it was rear wheel drive. And now I want to make it incredibly clear, a rear wheel drive car with that much horsepower is probably not the best choice for a first car, which is the reason why you see all the vids of Mustangs hitting crowds. So if you do want one, don't be a dummy, and you should probably buy just some crappy daily driver and then drive this car when you want to learn, not when you're just annoyed and you have to drive to school or something. Third place, the wonderful bronze medal is going to go to the absolutely beautiful Nissan Silvia S15. Yes, you can buy an S15 under $20,000 still. Probably won't last for long, but as of right now in 2022, you can buy them under 20k. And these things are just absolute legends within the JDM world. It makes no sense how they're still under 20k to me. They come with a 2 liter turbocharged inline-4, making a nice 250 horsepower, and it was rear wheel drive. And that motor, in case you don't know, is actually called the SR20. The SR20 is a motor that almost everybody out there tries to swap into their drift cars nowadays, and that's because it can handle it, buddy. It can handle not only the abuse but power incredibly well. They are such a good motor to build on. They also look incredible. The S15s, I think the best looking JDM car in the world personally, besides the FD-RX-7, would probably be the S15, to be honest. So yeah, I love it. Second place is going to another just absolute classic, just legendary car within the car scene, the BMW M3 E46, which, yes, is most likely going to be the cheapest model of M3 that you can find nowadays, besides maybe an E36. And it just makes no sense to me because it has one of the best motors of all the M3s, especially up to the point that it was built. I don't get it. It is a 3.2 liter inline-6, making a huge 343 horsepower, and it was rear wheel drive. And that power stock is already pretty damn insane, to be honest, but the engine is called the S54, and it is one of BMW's best engines of all time, and BMW makes some good engines, so that's saying something. They can handle power like an absolute dream. People always argue if the 2JZ or S54 is the best motor to come out of that era. That's how absolutely insane and dominant this motor is. Honorable mention time, though, and it's going to go to a car that you most likely either forgot about or never even heard of in the first place, the Cadillac XLR. Yes, this thing exists, and it is so freaking cool, man. Do not sleep on it. It comes with a 4.6 liter supercharged V8 that made an insane 443 horsepower, and it was rear wheel drive and looked absolutely incredible in my personal opinion, especially for a Cadillac. They also had some great comfort too because it's a Cadillac while still being very sporty. So if you need something that fits that bill, here you go. First place, though, is going to none other than the wonderful Chevy Corvette C6. This is arguably the best bang for your buck out there right now. Almost every Corvette is, if you're looking at buying a modern supercar. A C8 Corvette is probably the best option. That's kind of how they are. This one, however, comes with a 6 liter V8 making 400 horsepower exactly, and it was rear wheel drive. And while there has been some cars that have made more horsepower than this car, not many of them were as light, as aerodynamic, nice looking, good on gas, tunability. It has a freaking LS in it. Okay, so on top of having all that stuff, the motor is an LS. All right, so if you want to add some more power to it, you absolutely can. It's inviting the power. It's yelling at you. It's like waiting for you to walk by and ambush you, being like, I need more power. All right, so just buy a C6 Corvette, slap a turbo on it, and gap everybody on the road. But also make sure that you get ready for all the old heads coming up to you to tell you about their old glory days when they used to have one of those puppies. But that is the end of today's video, guys. Hope you enjoyed. If you did, please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel for more. I hope you guys are enjoying the deep dive videos. You guys seem to be enjoying them. They're getting good views, so that's great. But I also hope that you guys are enjoying the uploads at noon. We're going to be uploading at noon from now on. That way I have all night the previous night to make the video, and I don't have to rush anything. I can take all the time in the world to make the video that I want to make, to write the script out perfectly, to edit it perfectly, and all that stuff. I'm hoping that'll work out. I know that you guys are gonna have to get adjusted to not having the video be live at 9 anymore, and instead it's gonna be live at noon, but that's just how we're gonna do it. Okay, so I hope you guys are excited for that. I hope you guys love the deep dive series. Let me know what other cars to do for that. Let me know what other videos you'd like to see. And with all that out of the way, das vidania, have a nice night.